Technology.
So a neat thing I got to see in Oregon, near Portland.
Okay.
There's an Air and Space Museum. It's absolutely beautiful. They have the spruce goose on display.
Wow.
But for an extra price, I don't remember what it was. I think it was like $10 for an individual or $30 for a family, something like that.
Okay.
We got a tour inside a B17. Tell me what you know about the B17.
I know a little bit. I know that they were mainly the bombers that were used during World War II.
They were.
And they were pretty much known as the flying tank.
Fortress, I think?
Yes, that's what it was. Flying Fortress. And those suckers had, what, guns on the front, rear, sides, belly, top.
Correct.
I mean...
You just named every part of a plane, also known as the part that has the guns.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they were absolutely everywhere.
Yeah.
And what's really crazy, because, you can see the cockpit there.
Yeah.
That's not too different from a modern cockpit, really.
Not really, no. I mean, it's just really sans the digital stuff without or lacking, if you're curious, is what sans means.
Right. It's
Look at those bomb bays, too.
It's crazy. And that's a walkway across the middle, so that's precarious.
Oh, yeah.
But the neat thing is, you notice, that's not a sealed plane. That's not a pressurized cabin.
No.
And you can't pressurize something that's about to get filled with bullet holes.
No.
And there's the machine guns you see there.
Yeah, 50 cal, is that right?
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. And you can see the sample gun belt there. The
gun belt. No, you're right. Yeah, gun belt would be the correct term. Yes.
And fans, because it got hot as hell in there. But
oh yeah, I can only imagine.
What's crazy about it is how cold they would get. Flying at altitude, you get really cold.
Yes.
And then imagine the volume. Forget the roar of the engines. Think how loud it would be just dealing with
the guns. And then, of course, on top of that, you got the flak, that these things are being shot at with.
Right.
And then, of course, the enemy planes trying to shoot them down. I mean, just even the design right there of the I guess the best way to put it would be like the belly gun.
Yeah.
I mean, just how you're having to sit in that thing.
At very, very cramped space.
Yeah.
They would choose belly gunners by size.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
So,
get the smallest guy.
Smallest guy, 5'2"-ish, 110 pounds. And even then, you were in fetal position, basically with the guns under your feet.
Yep.
And it was just really amazing to get to see the inside of not just such a historic plane.
Yeah.
And the neat thing is, do you know who manufactured them?
I want to actually say McDonald's.
McDonnell did make them.
Okay.
As did Boeing.
Yeah, I know Boeing did
as
too.
did one other. Three different companies were building the exact same plane.
Well, who was the third company?
Lockheed, I think.
Lockheed. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, so basically, and if you think about it, because to me it's like, well, each company would make their own. Well, no, we've got a good design.
Yeah.
Just build it. We need it now.
We need it now. Here are the blueprints. Go with it. Because I mean, you'd have variations, of course, of this and that.
That's
but
right.
I would assume that one guy could work on all three different versions. Like
Right.
we're talking, okay, this has a different whoop-de-doo.
Right. There were subtleties in the variants.
Yeah.
But not big differences.
Yeah.
Not big differences. And yeah, it's crazy to think. Now, the Spruce Goose, I might as well just lump that one in here too.
Might as well, yeah.
The Spruce Goose is a sight to behold.
Yeah, you showed me a picture earlier, and it was just like, as I was telling you, because me and Jonesy, we hit up the parts store, and there was a Toyota MR2 that showed up, and we were both making and we were chatting with the guy too, and just talking about how that car just seems so timeless of its design and whatnot, which I know is kind of silly. It's like, well, it's a Toyota, who cares? I'm like, no, it's the aesthetics of it. It's like it still looks relevant to today.
Sure.
And the pictures of the Spruce Goose alone, it looks like something that you could see on any airport runway, on any tarmac, I guess is the correct term.
Well, there are some.
I don't have any words to describe how amazing this piece of equipment is.
There are some notable differences, as you can see here in these pictures. 8 engines is a little excessive. The pontoons are definitely a little different.
And of course, the mannequins.
Yeah, those were. Well, it's funny because there was a gun exhibit with no guns. So they're
That's
and
funny.
then of course there's the Yankees cap there.
Yeah.
It's also part of the museum.
Nice.
But it was just damn interesting. That's the inside of the Spruce Goose there.
That is just.
But as you can see, there's not a lot of cargo space, but it was a proof of concept.
Yeah.
So the Spruce Goose, first of all, why was it made out of wood?
Because I would assume, well, a lot of planes were made out of wood. That was probably the most viable material that they can think of. And also, if they try to make that sucker out of like steel, it would be so just draining on the economics of building this thing, and it would just be so heavy.
It was actually because metals were reserved for war use. And so
Okay,
there were
sense
two
right there.
big limitations. One is you can't use any war specified materials,
Yeah.
so you can't use any metal, and also you can't take any engineers with any aerospace knowledge, because those are
Okay.
also needed for the war effort. So he was hiring mechanics and what would you call it? Machinists,
Okay.
and training them. I mean, he's basically taking small city kids who knew a bit about a bit and turning them into
Full-blown mechanical engineers.
Mechanical engineers, yeah, aerospace engineers. So the fact that, and the reason, do you know why the project was canceled?
You know, actually, no, I don't. To be honest.
Because the war ended. There was
Okay.
just no need. You know, they needed something that was heavy lift, long range.
Okay.
And when the war ended, it was a niche product without a niche to fill. And within a matter of years anyway,
Yeah.
jets had come along to the point where heavy lift was no longer really the same obstacle it was during
Yeah.
the war.
Exactly. I mean, look at the Boeing 747s and something like that.
Sure.
But even then, didn't you say that like even the 747 isn't as large as this guy? Or
Not even close.
Yeah,
Not
which-
even close.
it makes you wonder if they actually retrofitted that with jet engines. And I mean, just still okay. I'm still blown away at the scale of this thing.
It is.
You know, I mean, it's just amazing what they did. I mean, then again, I mean, we were talking about how Howard Hughes, some of his ideas, it's like this guy was so ahead of his time.
In a lot of ways.
You know,
In a lot of ways.
And it's like if he was born in the 50s, you know, and he was trying to redesign planes today, I can only imagine what things would be like. Like, think about it. You know, I mean, we've got
Kind of the Steve Jobs of his era.
Steve Jobs, yeah, and then, of course, I'm also thinking the CEO and founder of Tesla. I keep forgetting his name.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Look at his innovations. Actually, the one
I
Facebook-
do every day on the road.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and now they want to get in Class A. I can only imagine if he wanted to get into planes.
Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of, that's just a silly picture. I'm sorry. It's like,
Yeah.
good shooting, son. With just your imagination. You got an eagle eye there because your other eye's just shut.
Well, and all of these guys, it's just a
How
crack.
do you, yeah.
Yeah,
I
it's a
just
crack
don't
up.
get it.
I don't think I've got anything else really great from here. No,
Yeah,
that's
a
the end
pretty
of that.
house.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other thing.
Legoland.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. We didn't make it there.
Oh, that's
Whoops.
right. You don't want to do that.
Cancel that. I wonder if I can.
No, but I do have to admit, though, it's kind of funny to look back on planes before, you know, and just think, my God, these things actually flew. And now it's like, I mean, even just watching a couple YouTube channels and some of the massive planes that they make for, I mean, these are like to deliver fuselages. It's just like, holy crap, you know?
Isn't that beautiful?
That is a beautiful sight to see. And it's like, as even we were talking about how the B17 you were looking at, what was it? Probably maybe 1 day of maintenance to get that sucker up and running.
Right.
That's it.
That one is near flight ready.
Yeah.
The it's flight worthy. It's air worthy, but it's currently parked. So I mean, it's not like they go out and change the oil every
10,000
months.
miles.
Yeah. The one of the variants on this particular one is that it has the steel finish.
I saw that. Yeah,
the metal finish rather than painted.
Yeah.
And that's because it was built so late in the war that remaining invisible from the ground was no longer a priority. They were already in the Pacific theater, and Japan's intercept capacities had already been
wiped
greatly
out.
diminished.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, no,
no need to hide.
No need to hide. Show them where we're coming from. You know.
Yeah, it's a crazy, crazy plane. So yeah, I just wanted to share that. It was pretty exciting.
No, that's definitely really cool. I mean, I definitely want to visit it now. That's for sure. I still don't know how they got it there.
The B-17?
No, the Spruce Goose.
Oh, the Spruce Goose. So, yeah, it had to come from Long Beach, California, up to Oregon. And so they took the wings off and left the fuselage intact, and then floated it on a barge up the coast, up near Portland, and then parked it for a few months waiting for the water levels in the river to, I don't know, go down enough to clear bridges or go up enough to not bottom out.
Maybe, well, a little bit, but the right
yeah, it's
tide.
Tough to say. So they had to have the right river level, and then they got it to within, I want to say, a couple miles, and, heavy lift trucked it from there.
Jeez.
I mean, talk about an oversized load. Watching that thing go. Jeez Louise.
I would have loved to see the video on how they did that. That would be cool. But still, it's just...
I bet that is available.
I think it is. I wouldn't be surprised, but again,
we'll do a react to that at some point.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah. All right, so there you go.
Sweet.